Has this ever happened to you? You watch porn, and afterward, it feels like something inside you shuts down. You don't say it out loud. You don't post about it. But deep down, you know it's not okay. Not because someone told you it's wrong, but because of how it leaves you. That strange heaviness, the disconnection, that feeling of guilt, even though no one saw. It's not about religion. It's about that empty space inside you, that no screen ever seems to fill. And then comes the question, quiet, painful, but honest. If this is normal, why does it feel like it's breaking me? If everyone says it's fine, why does it leave me so empty? Maybe you've tried to stop. Maybe you've promised yourself 1,000 times. And 1,000 times, you went back. Not because you're weak, but because there's something inside you, still aching for something more. And even if nobody knows, you know what it feels like afterward. You know what it steals from you. And maybe, just maybe, you're ready to stop pretending. Not to hate yourself, not to shame yourself, but to understand, to hear something different, something softer than guilt, something truer than shame, something that might, finally, bring you peace. Because if this is breaking something in you, then maybe, you're not that far from finding what could finally heal it. It's late. Everyone's asleep. The house is quiet. The lights are off. Except for the one glow. Your phone screen. You're under the blanket. Alone. Again. You told yourself earlier, tonight I won't. You even believed it for a moment. You were sure you could fight it off. You tried keeping busy. Tried watching something else. Tried just going to sleep. But here you are, lying there, staring at the screen. And you already know what's coming. You hesitate, but you already lost that battle in your head 5 minutes ago. One tap, one search, one video, and suddenly, the whole world fades away. For a few minutes, it feels like everything slows down. You feel in control. You feel something, the rush, the intensity, the dopamine. It drowns out the quiet ache for a little while. But then it ends. And all that's left is silence. Stillness. A strange kind of emptiness that makes the whole room feel heavier. You pull the blanket over your head. Not because you're cold, but because you don't want to be seen. Even by yourself. You turn off the screen. But it's too late. The images are still there. And that feeling in your chest, tight, heavy, like you just lost something again. You tell yourself it's not a big deal. You try to forget. But there's this quiet, aching question in the back of your mind. Why do I always end up here? And maybe deeper than that, you already know the answer. You weren't looking for sex. You weren't looking for pixels. You were looking for connection. For peace. For relief. For someone to hold you. Or just to feel like you mattered for 5 minutes. But that kind of love doesn't live in a screen. And here's something no one talks about. You're not weak for ending up here. You're not disgusting. You're not broken beyond repair. You're just tired, lonely, human, and hurting. And even in that moment, when you feel furthest from God, furthest from peace, furthest from who you want to be, He is still there. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't walk away. He doesn't say, I told you so. He sees the whole story, not just the mistake. He sees the pain behind the pattern, the wound behind the habit, the hunger behind the click. And He still calls you His. So no, you're not beyond love. You're not too far gone. You're not too messed up to be healed. You are still seen. still known, still wanted, even here, especially here. Porn doesn't show up with sirens. It doesn't announce itself with danger signs. It comes quietly, like a whisper, like a friend offering relief, like something harmless, maybe even normal. It feels easy. It feels private. It feels like a shortcut to something you've been missing. And that's how the lie begins. Because porn doesn't take everything from you at once. It steals slowly, in pieces you don't notice until you're left wondering where they went. It takes your time. It takes your sleep. It takes your focus, your desire for real connection, your ability to feel. It changes how you look at people, not as stories, not as souls, but as objects, screens to scroll past, bodies to rate, things to take. And worst of all, it changes how you look at yourself. You start to believe you're not worth real love. You start to feel like a user, like someone dirty, like someone permanently broken, like this is just who you are now. But that's not the truth. That's the addiction talking. That's the lie that's been repeated so many times it started sounding like your voice. Here's what porn never shows. Real love. Real safety, real care. It offers intensity, not intimacy. It gives you access without affection. It creates a world where you don't have to know someone to take from them, but then leaves you emptier than before. And when the video ends, and the silence returns, it doesn't hug you. It doesn't help you heal. It doesn't make you whole. It just leaves. And you're stuck with the pieces. You were never meant to be numb. You were never meant to need a screen to feel alive. You were made for more. And the part of you that aches after the high, that quiet, tender part that whispers, "This isn't it," that's the part that's still alive, still reaching, still holding on, still believing that maybe there's something better. And there is. There absolutely is. But you won't find it in porn. You'll find it in truth, in real love, in healing. And that journey starts when you stop believing the lie. You weren't looking for porn. Not really. Not deep down. You were looking for something safe. Something warm. Something that would remind you, even for a moment, that you're not invisible. You were looking for rest, for escape, for something to make the noise in your head slow down, even just a little. You were looking for comfort, and there's no shame in that, because your desire, it's not evil, it's not disgusting, it's not something to be silenced. Your desire is proof that your soul is still alive. You want to be seen. You want to be held. You want to be loved without performing, without pretending, without needing to earn it. But porn gives you the illusion of love, without any of its safety. It gives you sensation, without meaning. It gives you access, without relationship. It gives you escape, without healing. And it works. For a minute. But afterward, you feel the truth creeping back in. Because what your soul is actually starving for can't be downloaded, can't be scrolled through, can't be faked. What your soul needs is to be met. In your loneliness, in your craving, in your ache. It needs someone who doesn't use you. It needs someone who doesn't leave when you're weak. It needs to be told, you don't have to perform for love. You don't have to be perfect to be held. And maybe you've never heard that before. Maybe no one ever looked you in the eye and said, "It makes sense that you're hurting. It makes sense that you keep coming back to this. You're looking for something holy, in something that can't hold you. But God knows, He's not surprised by your craving. He's not angry at your longing. He's not disgusted by your ache. He sees what you're actually searching for, and he wants to give it to you. For real. Without shame. Without a performance. Without having to hide. Because you weren't made to consume. You were made to connect. And even if you've looked for love in all the wrong places, that doesn't mean love doesn't exist. It does. And it's calling your name. You probably imagine God looking at you the way you look at yourself after you fall. Disappointed, distant, frustrated, done. You imagine him shaking his head, thinking, again? Seriously? Tired of your failure, ready to give up on you. But that voice, that shame, that cold silence you hear in your mind, that's not him. That's what shame sounds like. That's what trauma sounds like. That's what the addiction tells you. But that's not the voice of the Father. God doesn't flinch at your sin. He doesn't pull away when you're struggling. He doesn't watch from a distance, arms crossed, waiting for you to get your act together. That's not who he is. And that's not how he loves. You see failure. He sees someone trying. You see disgust. He sees a son, a daughter, hurting. You see a mess. He sees someone still fighting to come home. He doesn't just see what you did. He sees why you did it. He sees the ache that led you there. He sees the pain you're carrying that nobody else notices. And while you're convinced that your mess repels him, your pain actually draws him closer. He's not waiting for the clean version of you. He's not waiting for the day you never slip again. He wants this version of you, right here, in the middle of the mess. The one who's tired. The one who's scared to hope again. The one who wonders if healing is even possible. He's not intimidated by your addiction. He's not scared of your relapse. He doesn't roll his eyes when you say, "I want to stop." Instead, he kneels beside you, in the dark, in the shame, in the silence, and he whispers what you've longed to hear. "I still want you. I haven't given up. I'm not going anywhere." That's what God sees. Not your sin, not your failure. You, the real you, the you who's worth staying for. The Bible has been used as a weapon against a lot of people. Maybe even you. Maybe you grew up hearing verses shouted at you, used to shame you, used to label you. So when you're stuck in something like porn, it's easy to assume the Bible is just another voice of judgment, another reminder of how you failed, another heavy weight to carry. But that's not what it's meant to be. Not at all. The Bible isn't a rule book to control you. It's a love story that points you back to wholeness, to a God who knows how lost we get, and still comes looking. There's a verse in the New Testament, written by a guy named Paul, someone who knew all about shame, struggle, and starting over. And it goes like this. "I have the right to do anything," you say, "but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but I will not be mastered by anything." 1 Corinthians 6 verse 12, NIV. He's not wagging his finger at you. He's not slapping your wrist. He's saying, "You're free." But not everything is good for your soul. Not everything heals. Not everything leads to life. It's not about control. It's about freedom. Real, holy, soul-deep freedom. Because here's the truth. You weren't created to be mastered by pixels, or by chemicals in your brain, or by guilt, or shame, or secrets. You were created to walk in peace, to love without fear, to connect deeply, to live open and unchained. And when you choose porn over and over, your soul feels the difference. because your body might react, but your spirit stays unsatisfied. God's not trying to punish you for that. He's inviting you to something better. He doesn't say, "Stop it or else." He says, "Come closer, and let me show you what you're really looking for." This verse isn't about taking away your options. It's about offering you back your dignity. God knows that when we're ruled by anything other than love, we eventually lose ourselves. So He gently reminds us, you don't have to live under this anymore. You're not a slave to your impulses. You're not too far gone. You can be free. And freedom doesn't mean perfection. It means healing. It means restoration. It means walking step by step with the one who never stops loving you, even when you fall. So don't let religion twist this. Let the real meaning reach you. God doesn't want to control you. He wants to set you free. Maybe you've tried to quit a dozen times. Maybe 100. Maybe you've had nights where you swore to yourself, that was the last time. But then came the next night, the next stress, the next wave of loneliness, and you were back in it. And now you feel stuck, ashamed, tired. You start to believe that maybe this is just who you are. But hear this. This is not your identity. You are not your habit. You are not your addiction. You are not the shame you carry. And you are not too far gone. You are still invited home. And home isn't a perfect version of you. It's not a place where you never mess up. It's not a place you earn your way back into. It's the place where you stop running, where you stop hiding, where you finally take a deep breath and let yourself be held. It's the heart of God, and He's not waiting for the clean version of you to show up. He's not standing at the door tapping His foot, waiting for you to impress Him. He's already standing on the front porch, arms open, watching for your return. Even if you're limping, even if you're covered in the mess, even if you're dragging shame behind you, He sees you, and He runs to you. No lecture, no list, just love. And maybe the road is long. Maybe healing takes time. But the journey doesn't start with strength. It starts with surrender. Just saying, God, I don't know how to get free, but I'm tired, and I want to come home. That's the first step. Not perfection, not performance, just trust. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to stop walking alone. You were never expected to carry this by yourself, and you never will be. There's a way back. There's always been a way back. And your Father has never stopped hoping you'd take it. The journey home starts today. You don't have to fix everything tonight. You don't have to figure out all the reasons why. You don't have to promise you'll never mess up again. You don't even have to know what healing looks like yet. You just have to believe this. You're not alone. There is a God who sees every part of you, even the hidden parts, even the parts you hate, and still calls you His. He's not disappointed. He's not tired of you. He's not looking for a reason to give up. He's waiting to hold you. And He's been there the whole time. In the shame, in the silence, in the tears you didn't know how to cry. He's never left. And He never will. There's a verse, soft, like a whisper to a soul that's exhausted. I have loved you with an everlasting love. I have drawn you with unfailing kindness. Jeremiah 31 verse 3, NIV. He's not done with you. You are not too broken. You are not too late. And you are not disqualified. You can start again. Tonight. Not because you feel strong, but because He is strong enough to carry you. So let this be the prayer that opens the door. God, I don't know how to get out of this, but I want to. I want peace. I want freedom. I want you. That's enough. That prayer is heard. That prayer is holy. That prayer is the beginning of healing. You're not your addiction. You're not your past. You're not what you've done in secret. You are loved. You are wanted. And there is a future for you. This is not your ending. This is the start of your return. And no matter how many times you fall, He will still call you home.